drinktrade.com. Should you though? Coffee maker. Simple packaging. Kind of nice. Welcome to Trade. Got a bunch of coffee makers on the cardboard here. Show you that in a second. And this is a 12 ounce bag of Cuvee from Ethiopia. We got a little coffee sticker. Trade Coffee works like this. You tell them how you enjoy your coffee, what you like in your coffee in a quick 3-question survey, and then they send you your first pick, basically. This was handcrafted in Austin, Texas. I'd never heard of this company before. Ethiopia, though, is got to be one of my favorites. Anyways, let me tell you about my experience with Cuvee. Well, not Cuvee, because I haven't had that experience. But my experience with Trade so far, this is literally my first order, and they use the United States postage service, and it's not amazing, guys, because what happened was they shipped it from Texas, it went to a hub in Chicago, and then it took 2 weeks for me to get a bag of coffee. And I was like, seriously? This is ridiculous. So on the first day, Monday, when it was supposed to be delivered, and I got a message that it wasn't going to be delivered after it said in the morning, out for delivery. Then I checked it that night, and it said it was still in Elk Grove, Indiana, or Illinois, I mean. And then I messaged the company and was like, hey, it didn't get delivered on time. They're like, no problem, we'll give you a $5 credit on your account. I was like, that's awesome. And this actually didn't get delivered until Thursday. Since it took so long to get delivered, they actually, and I stayed in touch telling them the process, and that I've had freaking notifications on the tracking thing that it was out for delivery every single day this week, even though it was still in Elk Grove, Illinois. They said, so sorry, this is not usual at all. We'll give you a full refund, and you still have that $5 credit on your account. So that's great. I'm really pleased that they have excellent customer service like that. And, well, I want to smell this and open it up, and they were all being very kind and saying, you know, this will be nicely degassed for you by the time it gets to you. Supposedly, they make it fresh for you. Roast date 6/17. So yeah, this is very fresh. So that's one extremely nice thing that I really like, that this was roasted on right before it came to me. So I think as far as Trade goes, that's an awesome feature. And it does. It smells fantastic. So originally they say it's usually costing about $16 to $22, which is normal for this size bag of coffee, fresh roasted. Typically what I would say more third wave high-end coffee. And let's just take a look. It looks like it's a very medium roast for this third wave coffee and stuff. And for me, yeah, I tried pinching this and breaking this when it's like on its most flat variety. Because for me, if you can break these really easy, it's typically over roasted. I think in general, this may be roasted more than I'm used to for coffees of this variety and for that price. Okay, that one's, they're slightly breaking and cracking quite easily, actually. Overall, for an Ethiopian coffee, I don't think this smells all that amazing. Let's see if it's got any smell or sniff notes or anything from here. I think I do like these easy zip closed bag ideas. So it says Ethiopia, fruity and spicy. Fruity and wild. Medium light roast. It's more of a medium. There's no way I would consider this much of a light roast. But they don't have anything else on the packaging here that would imply that they've done any tasting notes. They are known for their nitro cold brew, which I think they call black and blue. So maybe that'd be a better way to try their coffee, especially in the hot summertime right now. And I went to their website, Cuvee Coffee, and I don't think I found any information directly relating to what I was just talking about when it comes to an Ethiopian medium light roast. Fruity and wild. Anyways, All right, well, I'm going to grind this and do a pour over, I think is what I'll do. I haven't had a pour over cup in a while, so just for that reason, I should really enjoy this coffee and Cuvee coffee. Cuvee. I've heard people that work for them say it both ways. Cuvee and Cuvee. But are they trying to be French? It's not even French though, right? Because French is cafe for coffee. C-A-F-E. Cafe. So Cuvee, I don't know. Are they just spelling it onomatopoeia wise or something? Or phonetically, that's the word. Alright, so I'll get my digital scale. This isn't exactly cupping. I watched a video recently about cupping because I've only seen a little bit about cupping. And they were talking about how you want to make it weak. I was like, what? Never in my life do I want to make any coffee weak. But I try and stick with Madcap formula, 1:16 or 1:17 kind of ratio. So I also like that when I brew a cup, I normally stick with like 22 grams, which that works out to be 357 grams to a 1:16 ratio. And those are nice references to calibers, basically, right? 22 calibers and a 357 Magnum. So, yeah, I mean, looking at this coffee, it doesn't look like third wave light roast to me at all, and that was one of the specifications I did end up putting in there, was I really like light roasts. So yeah, 22. So there's their nicely little designed trade cup with coffee cups and doodles and lines going from coffee cups to coffee cups to coffee makers to Chemex to French presses and pour overs. So overall, yeah, nice design box. There you go, you can play with a kid.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks. So I always prefer a hand grinder because it's just easier to make a more consistent grind. And this one has been incredibly durable, even though it's cracked a few times. And it has a little bit of unique wabi-sabi love to it. If you don't know much about wabi-sabi, wabi-sabi is a Japanese tradition where you repair things and you make them beautiful when you repair them. Such as if a plate or a mug breaks that you really like, then you use a gold vein to actually repair it. And I don't have gold tape or anything, but it just involves basically loving things in their imperfection, because nothing's perfect in this world anyways. And it's a really good way to look at relationships. That's usually how I like to adjust my grinder for doing pour overs. That's about three threads that I always stick with, adjust to. So I've got my water boiling in my gooseneck kettle. I've got my pour over and my scale already. And I have to say, for grinding this sucker, again, they're grinding very easy. For high-end coffee, I am used to a lot harder time to grind it. So maybe you've heard me say this before. Always pre-soak your filters. Always. In winter months, this also helps to keep your coffee warm longer because it's heating up your mug. So that's another reason. You want to make sure you get rid of all that paper taste. That's the main reason to always do it. So this is smart. This is their little flyer. I said you made a great choice saying yes to Trade Coffee Co. And they've got this Trade Bingo. So then that's what this little sticker was for, little coffee sticker. They already made one for you. Oh, look at that Madcap. Love that stuff, guys. That's good to know. Because Madcap subscriptions are ridiculously expensive, guys. Let's see if there's anything else on this I'm looking forward to. Dogwood coffee. I've had that fresh from Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Stumptown, you can get that in stores here. Verve, that's from Arkansas. I've seen that. I don't think I've actually ever tried it. Intelligentsia from Chicago. I don't think I've tried that one either, so I'm actually looking forward to a lot of these different ones that I don't know. I am surprised Counterculture Coffee is not on here, because that's a great company that I really like and would like to see on there. So, anyways, get a bingo here, and then they say post it on your Instagram with the tag #TradeBingo for a free bag. So that's cool. And since it's currently like 80 outside, I am going to remove this warm cup that I used to catch with and use my Miir camping mug, basically, the tall variety, to make my coffee in. Just because it's gonna need a little bit of cooling down after I brew it in order to get that perfect temperature for tasting. And now I'm just going to toss this in here. And we'll get right to it.
Let's go.
After looking at that, I think the grind could have been a little bit finer for a pour over. It was a little coarse. It's just weird. I haven't used that grinder in a long time, and I don't know if it was just didn't get as small as it usually does when I twist it to that area, the 3 threads area. All right, first impression drink here. Yeah, I'm not really impressed, guys. Normally I do like a combination of black coffee or sugar or cream in my coffee. So black, this just tastes too much like a dark roast. I don't taste a lot of dynamics I usually do that are in Ethiopian coffee. It's rather flat, if you ask me. So Cuvee, not really loving it. Not loving this cup. Here's a fun fact for you. After the date on your milk, it'll have these codes here. These are dairy codes. You can know what state, at least if you're in the States, your milk came from. If you just look at that code and then look at the chart. I'll see if I can throw that in here. It really just seems like a waste. For Ethiopian coffee, this was nothing special. Nothing to write home about. I'm not gonna get it again. It was just okay.